My name is Katheryn Hout, and I am a senior at George Mason University. I am studying environmental science with a concentration in human and ecosystem response to climate change. I co-founded a Sunrise chapter here at Mason, and it was started during the pandemic in 2020 over the summer. So once fall hit, we were able to have that running. And it was more so to get Mason students to come join and be a part of the climate movement and help enact the change, because I personally didn't realize that my voice mattered and that I can do and change things. And I sat in Nancy Pelosi's office and I got arrested for that. So that was my first really experience with that. But that is only my real arrest from climate change. But I'm happy to be involved because I do recognize and acknowledge that I am very privileged in many ways. And so knowing that I was born in the States, having the financial opportunity to do that, yeah, I'll do it.
No oil! Keep that carbon in the soil!
I know I am only one person and one voice, but it only takes one person to really enact change and instill that oh, I can also change and help make people also realize that and know that they're not alone.
The reason we are able to predict climate for the next 100 years because we have good climate models that simulate the current 100 years very well.
The point of dynamic models is using previous data that we've collected and used from ice core or other cores from the Earth, carbon data and stuff like that. And I think those are really accurate. At least they can try to predict the future, and they have done a good job so far. And especially technology keeps on improving and advancing. They consider so many different factors and try to account for that, and also not compress, but using all the different factors, compiling it together and trying to predict this is what it could really look like in the future. And I think that's so cool. I think a lot of times people are always talking about my kids and my kids' kids and stuff like that. And if we don't enact change now, the future is not going to be improving and advancing. It's constantly changing. We're living in an Earth that humans have never lived in before, just because of how high carbon dioxide is and all the other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere.
We are currently at George Mason's wetlands.
I am currently a part of Environmental 350, EVPP 350, and that's freshwater ecosystems. And so I've done field work there and I really enjoy it. I was on a boat last week, and then we're gonna be here looking at the wetlands here and evaluating it. So I really enjoy that class. I've also been in microbiology and different labs here at Mason. I'm also planning to volunteer with the USGS and see their pollinator lab. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, I really look forward to the different field work I can work with. I think sea level rise and the increased temperature and the more severe and intense weather patterns that we're seeing. It's not only a human-related issue that climate does impact us, but more so the ecosystem and the biodiversity that we have here, and that we have already lost so many species, but we can do more and prevent that. So I think that's important. I do encourage people who do think climate change is a hoax to kind of find scientific evidence, and because the point of science and data is to whatever we collect, it's there, and then analyze it and see what does the results mean and what does that entail. And I think going from there, you can be oh, okay, so I shouldn't really believe it's this because I read this. You can kind of have that science base behind it. Yeah, it is frustrating because there are people who have been in the field for so long and have studied about it. It's frustrating because we've known for so long, but also we haven't really enacted meaningful change, and it's still occurring and it's still getting worse in some ways.
And we actually could make the actual prediction.
I think being able to have like a large influence or voice to be like, guys, we really need to do this about climate change and really have that, I think that would be really beneficial. And I also want to kind of like help others identify misinformation, because with the internet and how fast it's like evolved and stuff like that, we don't really know how to like deal with it. And so I think combating misinformation and also putting scientific information that's not biased and stuff like that and have that out and available to the public, I think that's very important. Yeah, it is scary. I mean, but I also know that it's good to be hopeful, because if we have the mindset of being hopeful, then we can tackle it better.